Firas Zahabi's Twitter account. Former UFC welterweight champion Georges St-Pierre's longtime coach Firas Zahabi has heard plenty of steroid allegations over the years. Thus, when UFC middleweight champion Michael Bisping accused the former champion of doing that while building hype around their title fight at the upcoming UFC 217 PPV pay-per-view event, it didn't bother the TriStar Gym head coach. The former champion has voiced his opinion about enhanced drug testing while he was on top of the world years ago. He went on record by stating that the lack of drug test was part of his decision to take a multi-year hiatus from the sport. While he was away, the UFC stepped up with their drug testing program and has a partnership with the anti-doping agency USADA. Zahabi said in a recent interview that should be all the evidence needed to prove his student's innocence. Bisping is making steroid accusations because Georges is ripped, Zahabi told MeJunkie at a recent UFC 217 media day in Montreal. About 10 to 20% of the population is naturally ripped. Georges just happens to be one of those people. You look at him as he was growing up, he's just naturally ripped. He's been tested, he's volunteered to be tested, and he's paid out of his own pocket to be tested and for his opponent to be tested. He's never failed one single test. Just because somebody's lean and extremely competent in fighting doesn't mean they're on drugs. That's the truth. Despite the fact that Zahabi doesn't agree with Bisping's allegations against his fighter, he has respect for the current UFC middleweight champion and praised him for the difficult road he's taken to the belt and the fact he's had to overcome so many opponents who are breaking the rules. Bisping was always the best, he said. After USADA, we know he's really the best. They weeded out a lot of possible influences on that category. Is it a coincidence that Bisping is the best after USADA? Is it a coincidence? That's my question. I don't think it is. Not just the drugs, but the weight cut difference. It changed the category. Bisping has now risen to the top, so I really think he's the best middleweight. Until somebody beats him, he's the best, make no mistake about it. Zahabi is certain of one thing, which is that the main event of the next UFC PPV event will feature an even playing field. However, he did acknowledge that fighters are still finding a way to cheat in the sport of MMA. I think personally the sport is a lot cleaner, Zahabi said. That's just my opinion. I don't have any hard facts or data or anything like that. I find it's cleaner, but I still suspect that a lot of guys are still finding ways to work around the system. Next, Fedor Emelianenko calls out Judas' brother Alex.